Hi, it's Kevin May, the Editor-Chief of PhocusWire. Hi. Mathis Boldt, you're the Vice President of Global Supply and Sales of GetYourGuide. So, it's been an interesting this year has been quite interesting for you as a company and for the industry as a whole. Let's go through both of those elements in individual parts. So, for the company it's been interesting for a lot of reasons, but not least because you get so much attention when you raise a lot of money. And you've been, you're now the second most heavily funded tours and activities company in history. So how do you approach the funding conundrum in terms of when you go out to raise, and also what to do with it when you've got another round of funding? I mean, it's a lot of money.
Right. Kevin, we raised now in total 170 million USD. And whenever it comes to funding, we obviously look where to apply that money and where to invest. Building up a global marketplace obviously comes with huge costs. We invested a lot into technology, into engineering teams, into growing our international business. We've opened 14 offices, have local people on the ground. And that obviously all need to be financed, and that's how we look into it.
So is it just that, or I've been asking the same question of some of your competitors, and that's around presumably a lot of that money goes towards marketing because You're trying to raise awareness. So, I mean, do you say it's getting more difficult to kind of justify that, because you could just throw good money after bad all the time, right?
Sure. Marketing is obviously a big bucket of it.
Yeah.
Distribution has a cost, but as long as you understand where to put the money and what is the return of the money, it's a good investment to do. There are obviously always irrational players in the market that just try to gain market share. By running irrational campaigns,
yeah.
But those players sooner or later will leave the market or are forced to leave the market.
You would hope.
Well, I think we have seen already the first signals, right, in the recent acquisitions.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. What did you make of that one? This amusement going to the TUI group.
I think it's an interesting move for TUI. It makes a lot of sense. I think for amusement and for the team, it's a good decision. TUI definitely, need more technology. Amusement is a great company.
Yep.
We respect them, so I think it was a expected but a well-considered decision by TUI.
Okay, another fairly sizable piece of news this year for GetYourGuide was the branded tours.
Yes.
So, which again was quite interesting. You claimed you were the first, and there are lots of people that claim you weren't the first. And let's get beyond the public relations element of that.
Right.
I mean, it's an interesting strategy because you don't need to do it.
Right. What we have learned in the past, that when customers book with GetYourGuide, they always, when something went well, they mention like, hey, GetYourGuide has done a great job. When something went wrong, then obviously they were saying like, hey, GetYourGuide screwed it up. So on the one hand, you could obviously argue we can push it over to the supplier saying like, hey, you should fix it. But we feel there's a larger responsibility we should take. And there's obviously a unique opportunity in bringing our global data and knowledge together and marry it with the local knowledge of a local supplier. When someone is referring that we are not the first, they are probably for a long time exclusive tours, but I think in the kind of the level how deep we go, I don't think that anyone else has done it in the same way. And the good thing is we've now just launched it in 5 destinations. That when we look into customer feedback, customer reviews, customer satisfaction, that those tours that we've created together with our suppliers have a significant higher customer satisfaction than a comparable tour of our suppliers. So bringing really the data together with the local knowledge of our suppliers seems to work really well and is very much appreciated by our customers.
Yeah, sure. I mean, how big can that part of the business really get, do you think? You said you're in...
we have 5 destinations, 10 tours.
So far. I mean,
I don't think it will be a really significant piece of the business, but we believe we can grow it into a couple of hundred destinations over the next 2-3 years.
Is it quite a cost-heavy element to what you do because there's a little bit more organising needed on the ground?
That's true, but when you see that your customers appreciating the experience of your tour, the likelihood that they come back next time direct to you is very high, and that's obviously pays off the costs.
Okay, so some of the more wider industry things now. So, Mathis, let's competitors or other players in the space have been buying up vendors. So other technology companies to help them do what they want to do. It's a two-part question. Why have you not done so? And two, what do you think of that general kind of strategy by those companies to buy vendors? And what does it say for the futures of other vendors?
Right. So we truly believe that reservation systems should be independent. There's obviously a higher risk when suppliers need to fear that the data they share with the reservation system, through whatever way, ends up with one of the larger OTAs. From a acquisition point of view, it makes sense. We have expected that one of the larger OTAs will make an acquisition in that field. One of them doesn't have an own reservation system, not an own extranet. Obviously, you can leverage the technology provided by the systems. We obviously look into that space, but there's no ambition to do any acquisition in the future.
And what would you say, we were talking beforehand, what would you say your point of view is on, there's been a couple of tech vendors that have been bought. What does it mean for the other tech vendors?
Well, I think it provides a unique opportunity for them. Okay. As when you speak to all the other players, they see now a growing interest in using their system against the others, and that's obviously what they should leverage. In addition, I think this tourism activity market is so fragmented that I doubt that there will be one or two leading players that will dominate that segment. There will be regional experts, category experts. This market clearly will consolidate, but I doubt it will consolidate to just two key players.
You're talking about consolidation on the B2B side?
Yes.
Do you think there'll be consolidation on the B2C side?
Surely. You have seen already consolidation happening, and it will probably continue like this.
So beyond the Musement TUI one, where's the next kind of, I'm not asking you to name names, but where do you sense these kind of consolidations are going to come? Regionally or even on pan-global?
It's really hard to predict, Kevin. Really hard to predict.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see what the future brings.
Okay, thank you.
In 1 year, we know more.
Mathis Boldt, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin.